Hi guys, it's Mr. Raphael back with day 3 of our sketching and drawing challenge. So today, some of you might be able to guess, it's 2-point perspectives, going by the drawings that we've got. So again, I'm going to be doing 3 levels of challenge for you. Simple 2-point perspective cube, that'd be a level 1 challenge. 2-point perspective cubes with openings on them, that'd be a level 2 challenge. And then trying to do an isometric 2-point perspective crate and drawing something that's a bit more complex in there. So we'll be sticking with our chair theme just now, and we're getting kind of used to drawing chairs. Just so you can see the difference between what a 1-point perspective, isometric, 2-point perspective looks like as well. Right guys, so we'll just fire on with this next challenge. So here you can see I've already prepared my page. I've got a nice light horizon line straight across the middle of my page. 2 vanishing points just at either corner. Again, we're going to be using a series of construction lines today, and also some bold construction lines, if I don't knock my camera out of the place. Right guys, so nice light horizon line, I've already got that. 2 vanishing points at either end of the horizon line. And I'm just going to draw a series of vertical lines up here. I'm starting my 2-point perspective cubes with the center line of the cube. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to do one above the horizon line, one down on the horizon line, and I'll do one below the horizon line as well. So guys, I've got 3 vertical lines here. They're going to form the center line of my cube. I'll show you what I mean by that. Once you've got the 3 vertical lines, I'm going to join the top and bottom of all my vertical lines to both vanishing points. So having a ruler today would be kind of beneficial. As I said yesterday, if you don't have a ruler, any kind of book, magazine, anything with a straight edge is going to help you get your accuracy down. So nice light construction lines, top and bottom. I'm going to do all my left hand vanishing points first from my 3 vertical lines. Top and bottom from this one. One little tip when you're doing 2-point perspectives is the closer you get to your vanishing points. So if I was coming across here, I'm going to get more of an extreme sort of distorted cube. So I'd advise you staying away from being too close to being above or below your vanishing point. So I'd say sort of this area, try and leave this area alone. Bring your drawings more into the middle of the page and they'll look a bit more realistic. Right guys, so I've joined vertical lines, top and bottom of my vertical lines to my left hand vanishing point. I am going to do the same with my right hand vanishing point now. Nice light lines. Trying to be as accurate as possible from my corners right to my vanishing point. So, that's my starting point for my 2-point perspectives. If I had a cube in front of me, I'm just going to sketch a cube up here right now, do a little isometric cube. What I've drawn here is the center line of my cube. So this line here is really this line here. I'm going to decide on how long I want my sides of my box to be. So how long do I want it to go this way? How long do I want it to go that way? I'm just drawing cubes just now, but it's certainly something worth considering if you're drawing something else and you were going to start creating a 2-point perspective crate for your object. You would want to start getting your proportions right just now. So I'm going to decide how long I want this cube to go this way. And again, the only type of lines that you're drawing just now the only thing you have to think about is it a vertical line or not? And in this case, yes, it is a vertical line, so I'm just using my ruler to help me get it parallel. And if it's not a vertical line, so I've got a line that comes from here, I know it's not going to be another vertical line, I just have to decide, is it going to go to my left-hand vanishing point? There's already a line there, so this must go across to my right-hand vanishing point. So I'm going to add that in just now. So that's going to come across like so, nice and light. It's going to go behind this shape, so it's worthwhile considering that when you're putting in your construction lines. If it's going past a shape or going to go behind the shape, either keep your line super light or actually just stop your line as it goes behind different shapes, and it might save you a bit of rubbing out later on. I'm also going to decide how wide I want this shape to be this way. So for this one, I'm going to go something like that. Again, it's a vertical line parallel to my other two that I've got in the drawing. Again, I've just got to decide now, is it a vertical line? No, because it would just come straight down there. Does it go to my right-hand vanishing point? Well, there's already a line going to my right-hand vanishing point. So from the bottom of this line, this vertical line, it must go to my left-hand vanishing point. So there's my left-hand vanishing point. And that would be my first 2-point perspective cube done. I'm going to finish off my other two quickly just now. So a parallel line here. Another line that's parallel to my centre line here. And this one I want to I'm going to make this into a coffee table just to give you a bit more of a challenge. So what I'm trying to do here is think of the proportions of a coffee table. So how wide is the coffee table versus how long is it going to be? So let's go with something like this. I'm going to make it that wide. Top of this line, I know it's not going to go to my right-hand vanishing point. There's already a line going to my right-hand vanishing point, so this must go to my left-hand vanishing point. Decide how far into the distance I want it to go. So I don't want it to go too extreme. It's going to look really long. So again, just trying to work in my proportions, something like this. And again, from the top of that line, I want it to go to my right-hand vanishing point. There we go. So, 3 cubes done, didn't take us very long. Done it all in nice light construction lines, so now is my little opportunity to go over it in a bold outline. It's worthwhile, you know, if you've done nice light construction lines using your bold outline, that's your point, your opportunity maybe to change any little mistakes that you've got, bits that you don't quite like. So I'm just going over it in a bold outline just now. So, level 1 challenge, quite straightforward. We could do the same for these, but I want to give you a bit more challenge. So for this cube here, I'm actually going to make an opening in it. So I'm going to sketch an opening on this side. So again, I've sketched this line here. I would want to send the top of that line to my right-hand vanishing point, just to get how it's going to look. And then it's going to come straight back down here. Again, you're only either using vertical lines or a line that is going to either your left-hand vanishing point or your right-hand vanishing point. If this was an opening on here, I would actually see, you know, this wall going inside. So bottom of that line is going to my left-hand vanishing point. I'm going to leave it at that just now. And for this one, I'm going to put in a few more openings. So I'm going to make this a kind of coffee table. So I'm just going to sketch in a leg. Top of this will go to my right-hand vanishing point. It's worthwhile considering when you're doing perspective drawings that things get smaller as they go into the distance. So when I'm looking at adding in this leg here, I'm looking at the size of that leg, and I want to make it just a little bit narrower. Something like that. And you can tell it's not very much difference in size between this and this. This is a little bit smaller, but if it's a little bit bigger, it would make my drawing look pretty strange. So I'm trying to keep my leg sizes quite consistent. I'm also trying to keep the thickness of my table consistent. So a little trick I can use for that is if I follow this line down, this line, and I just project it to the edge there, I can then use this line here to bounce back up to here, and that's me. I'm going to get the thickness of my tabletop correct along this side. So line that up like so. Project that line up there. I'm just using really light construction lines just now. I'm just basically getting the bones of my inch in here, my coffee table I should say. I'm going to add a leg in here, and again, if this was coming down, getting further away from us, it's going to be a little bit smaller on that corner. I would see the inside of this leg, and that would have to go to my right hand vanishing point. And then there's another vertical line just to finish off that leg. I'm not going to see any of that leg, it's all going to be hidden. And I'm going to see a bit of the inside of this leg. So I'm going to go something like that. I'm going to put my bold outline on now as well. Just put my bold outline on this shape as well. So guys, there's our two levels of challenge there. So level 1, these two level 2. And then my idea for the level 3 challenge was essentially to redraw the chair that we've been drawing over the past couple of days. I've drawn it a bit bigger. I've been able to put a bit more detail into it. So it's one of the things to consider when you're doing your drawings. If you do something really, really small, it's hard to put a good level of detail into it. Whereas if I make it a bit bigger, I can focus on putting a bit more detail into it, right down to sort of screws and things like that. So that's what I'm going to do my sheet. I'm going to draw a fairly large 2-point perspective crate, and I'm going to use that to build my chair into it. So I'm actually just going to rub out some of my construction lines just so it makes it a bit clearer what I'm doing for the chair. If you've got a rubber at home and you've got to this stage, you might want to do the same, depending on how dark your construction lines are. Right guys, so I'm going to start off again. I'm going to do a 2-point perspective crate, in which I'm going to place my chair. So, start again, vertical line. Again, when we're doing a crating out, it's important that we're getting our proportions right. So I've kind of set a height here, and I'm just going to project these lines back to my vanishing point. Again, if some of my construction lines are going to go through the drawings I've just done, I'm not going to put them through. I only need that much of that side of the square, so I'm not going to project them all the way back because it's going to interfere with some of my other drawings. So again, down this side, projecting down to the right hand vanishing point. So I've got 2 sides of my cube now. What I want to do is decide how wide I want it to be down here and how wide do I want it to be here, so a sort of depth and a width from a chair. Again, I'm trying to create the proportions of a box that my chair would fit in. So I'm going to I'm going to guess I'm probably not too far away at that. Yesterday when I was doing the 1 point perspective, I think I got the proportions slightly wrong, but I'm learning as much as you guys are. The more you draw, the better you get, essentially. So I hope you are trying to stick at the challenges at home. I really don't mind if you're doing them all, or if you're just tuning in when you have one of my technical classes, but I would prefer it if you worked through them in sequence, because the first three are all about giving you some skills in the pictorial style views, and then the rest, you know, they get a bit more freestyle after that. But it'd be good if you had a good foundation in the different pictorial views that we'll be using, i.e. isometric, 1 point perspective and 2 point perspective. Right guys, so I have almost done my 2 point perspective crate. I don't normally do this, but when I'm creating this one out, I'm actually going to put in the wireframe for the rest of my surfaces. It's going to help me out a little bit with seeing where, you know, the back side of this cube's going to be, so on and so forth. So I'm just making a sort of see-through cube, I suppose. If I've drawn it all right, these two lines should just match up in the corner. There we go. So hopefully you can see that's a see-through cube. Now, just as I did before, I quite like to start off with a little side view of my chair, which is just going to help me keep right about how I'm going to do this. So rough proportions of my cube that I've just drawn. That would be my seat level. This is where my back's going to come in. I'm going to kick that back in slightly, down like so. This becomes my seat. I'm going to keep it straight down there this time. This is my back leg. And again, we did the little curve up and over. So that was my little idea for the chair that I've been working on. And that essentially is what I want to draw onto this side using 2 point perspective. So the main thing here is on here, my seat level is roughly halfway down my cube. I'm going to sort of guess roughly about halfway down here. If you are wanting to find a halfway point on a 2 point perspective, you can draw an X corner to corner from on that surface of the cube, and that's going to give you the center. Don't think that you can just go ahead and measure this and find the center and it's going to look okay, because actually your sizes are getting bigger as they're coming along, getting closer to us, and the sizes are getting smaller as they're going away. So normally you find that the center's not really the center of this line. But that would be the center of my cube. And now I could just run a line through that center of that X from a left-hand vanishing point. This would normally be a horizontal line, but of course if I draw a horizontal line on there, it's going to look a bit odd. So I'm just going to come through that center point, and that would be my seat level. It's not quite horizontal. Now, if my seat level was on my horizon line, it would actually be horizontal, because it would just follow that from my vanishing points. Right guys, so I want to try and sketch this shape onto there now. So, starting from the corner, it comes down slightly, or it comes in slightly I should say. So that's me just drawing that line. It gets to that halfway point, and then it bounces back down to this corner. So that's what I'm going to do. It bounces back down into that corner. I've got a thickness for my back, and then it's going to come down and just curve slightly onto my seat level. It's going to go along my seat level and curve down slightly just to make it a bit more comfier. And then the leg's going to come down here like so. It comes in a little bit, so flat. So that would be flat on my 2 point perspective, and flat also. And then because I've put my X in, and this is roughly in the middle, so my top of my arc I'm looking at here, I can make a judgment call. It's going to be just down from my seat. So top of my curve is going to be somewhere like that. It's useful to put in tops of curves and things like that, or a point that you're aiming for, to plan that out so you've got a target to aim for, and it'll help your drawing hold together a little bit better. Right guys, so I'm going to draw this curve in. So it's going to curve up to here, come around, and then it's curving back down to this point here. Curving back down to that point there. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil a bit. So, get sharper than that. Guys, it's useful to have a sharp pencil. It just allows you to get a bit more detail in. Sometimes you're dealing with lines that are incredibly close together, and you're not going to get the definition if you've got a really big tip on the end of the pencil, so I'm trying to keep mine as sharp as possible. Right. My idea for the chair is to have it as though these were two bits of wood on either side, and then my seat and stuff is hung between these two bits of wood. So I'm trying to put a bit of thickness onto here. I'm trying to increase the complexity a little bit. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I want to add a bit of thickness to this piece, and then I want to draw the same piece on this back square here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of thickness to that. So I'm going to project the lines up to my right hand vanishing point. This line is just going to come up parallel to the one I've got already. It's going to carve over ever so slightly here, and I'm going to see very little of that lip up there, but this is where a sharp pencil comes in handy. And then I'm going to see a little bit more of it as it comes back up here. I would see a bit of the same thickness. I'd see the same thickness coming out from here as well, because this is an opening. I would be seeing the inside of that leg now. And again, I'm just trying to match the curve up to here, and at some point this line is going to get lost behind this line, because I wouldn't see it coming back down here. So this is going to go up like so, and then it's probably just going to get lost about there. I'm just going to rub out some of my lines. Hopefully it makes it a bit clearer. Take away that centre line. So I'm quite happy with the sketch I've got of this side of the chair, and now I want to take that same shape and project it onto here. So I can do that. This is what we would call crating out when you've got the more complex shape to work with. So this was my seat level, so I'd want to project this level up onto this surface, so I get an idea of where my seat level would be on this surface, the back side of the square or the cube. So I'm just going to project this line across. This is my seat level height, comes up to there, and actually I can then project from this point where that seat meets this back corner. It's going to come out like so, and that's where my seat roughly is going to end. I'm going to start projecting this shape, the back of the chair, onto this side now as well. And actually I know that it starts at this corner, same as here. It's starting up in that corner, it's projecting out a little bit. So I'm just going to try and match that angle as I come down. It's coming down to something like that. And I'm going to end that about there. And then that actually kicks back down. I think I'm just going to leave the line out though, because I can see it's going to go below the surface of my seat. So I'm just going to leave that out. This I'm drawing the thickness of the back now, so again, I'm drawing this line here. This line's going to come down as well. And it's going to carve out slightly. We would see that leg come down. And then it comes in that much. Now, if I want to get the same amount of distance in here, so this line that comes in, this thickness here, I can bounce that line back. So I'm taking it from the corner back to my vanishing point very lightly. And then if I follow from this corner along, that tells me how wide that leg is when it's going back into the perspective. I'm not going to see much of this on that backside. Again, I can tell it's going to be hidden by this part of my leg. So essentially, I want to add this carve in now. I think I'm just going to put my seat in. So I've got a curve that comes up under here, and I'm trying to get that same point across here. So again, very lightly, I think it's going to benefit me if I mark the centre of this square. So I'm going to mark the centre of that square very lightly. So I found the centre of the square here, or of the back side of my chair, and we can see that X is right at my seat level, and the top point of my curve was right below that middle point, and actually I could project that from my centre point here. If I just project that back, it's telling me if I can come down directly from my X, it's telling me where my centre point is. So on the back side, this would be where my centre point is. And again, I'm just going to add this curve in, and I'm trying to peak the curve right on that point I've just added. So it's going to come around something like that. I'm going to put the back of my chair in just now, so there's no material here just now. So if you sat in that chair, you're just going to fall through. So I'm just going to add something that you can lean your back on. Finishing off a couple of little bits to make it look a bit better. So guys, so I've got the sort of bare bones of my 2-point perspective chair in. Same as all of our drawings before this, where we should have drawn it all as a kind of light construction line to begin with. I'm now going to pick out my bold outlines just to make my drawing stand out a little bit better. Maybe I've made some mistakes and things like that, bits I can kind of tidy up, or bits that should fade into the background when I put my bold outline in. It should really make your drawing pop and stand out a bit better. So, here we go, bold outlines. If you're not sure about how to use a bold outline, you can look back at a couple of the previous videos. So that would be bold. It's going to be bold down here. I'm going to see a little bit of that bold line on here. So sharp pencils are going to help you out. Bold outline down here. Bold outline up this curve. It's not going to go all the way around, because by the time you get to here and here, that one would have to be a light line. And actually the the bold outline flips from this edge and then it goes onto that edge. So you can see something like that. I just want to add a bit of thickness to this side. Doesn't really have a thickness to it just now, but it's actually going to be very, very thin by the time it gets up there. This would be a bold outline. Put the back of the chair in down there. Bold outline along there. Bold outline for my chair bit here. That's my seat in, and onto here. A little bit more bold outline down here. And that's about it really. As I was saying about making stuff a little bit bigger, it means you can put a bit more detail into this. So if I had my design and manufacture hat on, and I wanted to start thinking about, well, how could I actually make this chair? I might start showing, well, I could have screw holes along here that would screw into my seat. Maybe I would have some screw holes up here, holding the back in place. Maybe I'd even have a little support or somewhere to rest your seat, your feet under here. Might just add that in. I'm just going to make that a little bar. So I'm actually make that around, and we'll get a little bit more into 2-point perspective cylinders and isometric cylinders and things like that at a later day. I've already seen some people's work. It's looking really good. Please try and take a photograph of it. You can send it to Rafael R05s@sterlingschools.net. It'd be great to see you there, or you could perhaps post it onto the Google Classroom. You can send, just try and get them to me. I'll provide you with some feedback. It'd be good to see how you're getting on. And likewise, if you'd like a shout out on one of the videos, if you've got any requests for drawings of anything really, we can maybe have a look at those. I'll take things from there. Keep in touch, guys. I hope you're getting on with the challenge just fine. Please feel free to like and share it, and hopefully see you all soon. Cheerio.